Hey everybody, Sean Holsinger here from holsingersflyshop.com. Today I'm going to bring you the fly that I spoke about in my last video on our trip to 18 Mile Creek and Oak Orchard this year. This is the pattern that I was catching most of my fish on. It's a foxtail streamer, just like my last one, tied it the exact same. I'm just going to show you a different color. I want you to, when this gets in the water, this is how this is going to go together. So you can see how it has that natural bait fish color to it. I really like this color pattern. It really worked well for me. Like I said, when it gets in the water and this hair all soaks up, it all lays down and it takes on that shape right about there as it goes through the water, and it kind of undulates. Just a couple things that we use on it. We use the eyes here, the living eyes, wind color 5mm. This fly here, I should say, this fly here, I'm tying it smaller. I'm tying it for my fish around the streams that I fish in here at home now. When I fish it up there, I tie it the same size as I tied with in the foxtail streamer in the last video I did. It's just I'm changing colors this time. The hook we're using is a Daiichi 2557 size 6 is what we're tying this in, and it's a specialty hook. It's a circle hook, as you can see. The main ingredient is going to be the Arctic foxtail fur. It's going to be in kingfisher blue, chartreuse, white, and pink is the colors we're going to use. And the only other material we're going to use other than our thread is flashabou in chartreuse color. So let's get started here. I'm just going to use some blue thread, and I'm going to build up a base on here. You don't really even have to do this. Use whatever color you thread you want to use there. If you want to use some blue, I'm just using blue later on in the fly, so I'm just going to use that. You might want to use like a chartreuse or a red or something. A red would probably work real well, but I don't think that really matters. I just lay a nice little coat of thread down on there, and then I'm going to take that and I'm going to cover it up with some UV fly finish in the flow. The runnier version. I don't want it real thick on there. I just want to protect it. When you catch a couple fish on this, usually I use floss, a color of floss, but you don't really have to. But the floss tends to get tore up in the fish's mouth, so that's why I always protect it with the UV. Now the first thing we're gonna put on is some white fox fur, and just like in the original, we're gonna use white for the belly. We're just gonna downsize everything on this. In that other one we used a size 2. I did a little research in there, found the hook I like, and you can see here the fox fur here. You can see the guard hairs on the end, how thin it is, and then you can see the other end how thick it is. That's because there's a lot of under fur in this. So you want to pinch it and pull. Bring it this way. Pinch it and pull out that under fur that's in there. Okay, once you get most of the under fur out of there and you get it thinned down pretty decent, you don't want too much here because you're going to be building up a couple colors, so you don't want to overdo it. Okay, now we're going to set this down on top of the hook, and you want it about the length of the hook back off the hook. Okay, you see what I mean there? You see how long the hook shank is. So I'm going to take right there, and that's going to be what sticks out over the bend of the eye. Okay, so we're just going to tie this down. We're just going to make a couple quick wraps. And then I even tend to kind of roll it down over the hook a little bit, so it kind of spreads around the hook and isn't laying on top of the hook and keeps stacking up on top of the hook. I used to go and get like Gamakatsu circle hooks, bait fish circle hooks to use on this, and Daiichi makes a 2557 specialty hook which works just great for it. So I just switched to using that. The next color we're going to use is pink, and same thing, just going to get out a section of this. I want this to be a little bit thinner than the white. You know how a fish goes. The white on the belly typically runs up to close to the lateral line, and but it's usually the white or the lighter color of the bait fish is the more dominant color. So, but keeping in with that, we're going to stick with the light in the pink color here and keep working up to the darker back. So just thin this down, like I said, pull the guard hairs out again. Hold on to the guard hairs, pull the fluff out the back. And you want to go just a hair longer on this one. And we'll just wrap it down. And we don't need to go as thick on this color. Tell you what, I may go just a hair more. I want just a hair more, just so I'm sure that pink comes through. Because I kind of thought this one kind of looks like a little rainbow. And you want, you know, that rainbow line to show through it. So we're going to put just a little bit more. Mainly the guard hairs here, pulling out a lot of the fluff on this one. And pulling out the ends here, just trying to even it up as best as I can. Okay. And you want to wrap this down, keeping it tight, and make sure it stays on the top of the hook. Okay, we'll trim that off, and we're just going to keep building up this head as we go. Because we're going to have to put our eyes on here in a minute. Next color we're going with is a chartreuse. And same thing, you do not need much of this. This stuff here will show through. So I'm going to go for sure lighter than the pink on this one. And, you know, same thing again. Pinch it, pull out the fluff. Get the ends even. We're just going to lay that down on top. And kind of about the same length, if anything a hair shorter than the pink. And then just wrap it down tight, keeping it on top. Alright, like I was saying in my salmon fishing video, this fly worked really well with me. Salmon fishing, I caught 2 brown trout on it up there in Oak Orchard and 18 Mile Creek. I just think it's a really natural looking pattern. I really like it for that reason. And the last color we're going to put on is some Kingfisher Blue. And this Kingfisher Blue, the Arctic Fox that they sent me, has some black tips on it. And I actually kind of like it. At first I wasn't sure I would. After looking at it, seeing it on the fly, I kind of like it because it actually, that black blends in. Let me see. You can't see it real well in the video here. I can zoom out a little bit. Here you can see how it's really blue down here, and up at the tips is a little bit blacker. I actually like it when it gets on the fly because it gives it like a mottled look. So I'm going to show you here, good with the video out. I'm just pinching the black tips of it here and then pulling the fluff out. And you can see how sparse that gets right there. But that's how you want it. Okay, then we're just going to put this blue up on top of the green here and finish it off. You know, like a dark olive would probably work nice up here too. I was using it for steelhead and trout and stuff up there, salmon fishing, and blue is a really popular color when it comes to steelhead and the salmon fishing during the run and stuff. So that's kind of why I stuck with the blue. But there you can see how it all blends together nice. And you get that nice mixture of colors. Now I'm going to take and, before I finish this off, I want to put a little bit of flash on here. So I'm just going to take 2 strands of Flashabou and cut them off. And then I'm going to put them on, I always tend to trim the ends off of theirs. Okay. I always put them on the side closest to me first. It's just I can see where I want them to be, so that's why I do it that way. I'll make about 3 or 4 wraps there, and then just wrap it over the side. Give it a couple wraps on the other side. Hold it where I want it. Pinch it down and then wrap it over and cover it all up with thread real nice. Okay, now I'm going to do my whip finish. Like I said, here it is. It's fall here at our place. November right now when I'm doing this video. And it's that time of year to be streamer fishing. So this is what I'm going to have on. This is the kind of fly I'm going to be fishing with. Streamers of some sort. I like to fish the streamers in the fall and the winter. The bait fish, they kind of tend to key on the bigger meals. Next thing I'm going to do is my 5mm eyes. Wind color, you can use whatever color you have. This is just the way I like to do it. You can use, I know there's like a fish skull out there. There we go. That you can put over top of it. I just like this UV glue method. It works real well for me. I just put a little dab of the thick, just a big enough dab that when I put the eye on it, it will hold it in place for me. Position it where I want to there, and then I'm going to hit it with the light real quick. Okay. And then I'm going to do the same on the other side. I know you can't see this real well, but I've done this 100 times on my videos, so you watch one of the other videos, you know what I'm doing right here. And we're just going to match these up. Get it on there right. Okay, then we're going to hit it with the light to tack it into place. Then we're going to come in and finish off the head. And what I'm doing now is in between those two eyes, just going to put this thick in there and fill up that gap. Swing around the bottom and put some in the gap on the bottom there. And hit it with the light. Cure the head, and that's all that is to this fly. Like I said, very simple fly, very effective fly for me. I catch trout on it, I catch steelhead, salmon, brown trout up north. Really works for me. I hope you enjoy this. Stay tuned for more of my videos. I'm going to be bringing you more here shortly. And please subscribe to my YouTube channel, and don't forget to like us on Facebook, and check us out for all the material to tie this. You can find it at holsingersflyshop.com. Thanks again for watching. I'm Sean Holsinger.